Lesson 4, Day 1. Solving for unknown angles using equations. A. How do we solve for unknown angles in word problems and diagrams involving all learned angle facts? I'm getting tired of reading the same thing for the past couple of days, so I had to put a little spin on it. I don't know if that freaked you out. Probably did because it freaked me out. Let's move on to example 1. Forget that ever happened. Okay, so example 1. Find the measurement of angle FAE. Okay, angle FAE looks like FAE. Okay, there's that 2x. We gotta find him. And we need to find angle CAD. CAD. Gotta find that one too. Okay, and that's 6x. Okay. Well, as we always say, in order to find what an angle is, we have to compare it to one or more angles, and we need to use our angle relationships. Okay, well, if I look at 2x and 6x, they are not vertical to anything, so that does not help us. We go to complementary. Well, we do see a little box here, so that there's 90 degrees. So that's complementary, but it is not, because it is not split. If it was split, then we could use complementary, but it's not. Then we look for a straight line. Oh, look at that. Here's a straight line right here. And it looks like both the angles we're trying to find fall on that straight line. Well, let's see if we know all the other chunks on that line. Maybe we can use a supplementary angle. Okay, well, this angle right here, we know that one. Even though there's no number there, there's that little box, and that box means 90. Now all we need to make that semicircle is that last little chunk there. But that one's not labeled. But wait, if we know our angle relationships, we could find out what that angle is. Yes, we can see that that little green angle, a little sliver, that little chunk I just made, is vertical to that angle. Well, let's see. If this chunk right here is 170, to finish that semicircle, I'd have to go an extra 10 degrees. So that little sliver is 10 degrees. Well, if that one's 10, I guess this guy here also has to be 10 degrees. And now we've completed our semicircle of measurement. So now we can use that 180 degrees. Well, what are all the chunks that make up that 180 degrees? Well, we've got that little sliver we just found. That's 10. Again, we always add up all the angles. We have our 2x. There's our 90. And last but not least, we have a 6x. Okay, well, now I see we can do some lines here. Before we start moving things from both sides of the equal sign, let's do some shapes. We'll combine like terms. We want to see a positive 2x and a positive 6x. That should give us 8x. At the same time, I also see a positive 10 and a positive 90. So I can combine those and get a positive 100. And that will equal 180. Again, a quick review if you're still struggling with two-step equations. I'll go over it one more time. I'll probably go over more than one more time, but we'll go over it again. We always ask ourselves, what's happening to the variable? Well, the first thing that's happening to it is being multiplied by 8. And then after that, you would add 100. Well, to undo it, we have to go the opposite direction and do the opposite operation. So instead of adding 100, we will subtract 100 from both sides. If you do to one side, you got to do it to the other. Math is all about balance. These guys cancel out. We have 8x equals, well, 180 minus 100 gives us 80. So we did the opposite of that step. Now do the opposite of step 1. Instead of multiplying by 8, we shall divide by 8. And that gets us x equals 10. We're not over. It's not done. Not by a long shot. Well, it actually is pretty close to being done. We have to plug our x now back into the angles. Angle F, A, E. Well, we said that was 2x. So now just write 2, substitute in the x, which is 10. Oh, well, that was easy. We know the guy's 20 degrees. Let's just finish this up. Angle CAD. That's 6x. Well, instead of writing x, we shall substitute in 10. And we now know he will be 60 degrees. Take the time now to copy down, so I'm moving on. Bye-bye. Alright, that was kind of fast. I'll go back. Bye-bye. Okay, no way. If you need to go on, pause the video. Because I'm moving on. Okay. So, 3 lines meet at a point. We're going to list angle relationships yet again. And we'll set up equations to help us find the value of b. Okay. Now, again, as we always say, and as I always say, if you want to find an angle, you must compare it to one or more angles. Let us see. We're trying to find b. There's nothing vertical to it. Okay, so that doesn't help us right away. There's no complementary angles here because I don't even see a box, so that's right out the window. There is a straight line. There is a straight line. But we don't know the measure of this guy here and this guy right here right now. I hope some of you are thinking right now and saying, hey, wait a second. Yes, we do know those measures. And for those of you who are thinking that, you are correct. We do know what those two angles are. If this guy's 43, then that guy also has to be 43, so let's throw 43 here. And if this angle is 37, well, I guess the one that's opposite it also has to be 37. That's this angle here, and that has to be 37. Okay? Well, now I can just focus in. I can get rid of those right now. I don't want to look at those. I can just focus in on these angles here. These are angles on a straight line. Makes a semicircle. Should be a supplementary angles. Those equal 180. Well, now let's add up all the chunks on those on a supplementary angle. We've got 43. We've got the 43 angle. We've got B. And last but not least, we have angle 37. Again, we'll make our lines here. We'll do some combining like terms, which is shapes. We have a positive 43 and a positive 37. When we add those up, we get 80 degrees. We'll bring down the plus B, bring down our equal sign, and bring down 180. This is a nice, easy one-step equation. This is a positive 80, so to get rid of it, we have to make it a negative. So minus 180, not minus 180, minus 80. Well, minus 80 from 180. Same thing on both sides, cancel them out. Leaves us with B equals 100. Okay, let's plug back into our diagram. Oh, that was easy enough. That's already B. And we're good to go. Alright, as always, if you have any questions, come up with them tomorrow. If not, well, then you are ahead of the game. See you tomorrow.